Alright, so this evening we're in the fur shed, and I wanted to share with you all the last steps of our first batch of black walnut syrup. So this is just the middle of February, and it's been a good sap year for sure, because it was just about 2 weeks worth of tapping the black walnut trees, and we only tapped 10 black walnut trees, and within 2 weeks we had enough sap collected to boil down to end up making 7.5 pints of syrup. So that's really a lot of syrup for only 2 weeks worth of collecting sap, isn't it? So here is the beautiful black walnut syrup. It's just beautiful. Really dark, very different than maple syrup. It has a really different, unique flavor, but it's really delicious. And it's just unique, right? So it's a wonderful little treat if you have black walnut trees that you can do. And also, a really exciting thing that God added to black walnut trees for people who tap them and make the syrup. You get an extra treat without you doing any other work. It's just kind of like a byproduct of making the sap. So once you boil your sap down and the syrup is ready, and you pour it through this like filter, right, to just get any last of the impurities out. Once it strains through here into your bowl, which you put into your jars, what's left over is this stuff that's called black walnut jelly. Look at it. No sugar added. You don't do anything. It's just left over from filtering out your syrup. And it's really delicious. It's really, really tasty. Unique, but very good. So what you do then, after you have your syrup in the jars, what you do is you scoop out, you scoop out this jelly, and then you put it into jelly jars. We put it in jelly jars. I mean, you could put it in any jar, I suppose. And it's really thick, as you can tell. And then what we will do, so for the syrup, because it was hot when, of course, we bottled it. So then we tipped it over to get the ring hot, or the lid hot, and it sealed itself. Now this is not hot anymore because that was last night. This is not hot. So we will have to can the jelly to make it, seal. So, which is okay. It would just no different than, you would water bath it, right? Like you would do any other jelly that you make. So I think that's really amazing. Maple syrup won't do this. God only made it to where black walnut syrup would do this. Or black walnut sap, should I say. So that's why black walnut trees, they're amazing. Right here on our farm, we use black walnut trees for so many things. First of all, we love them because of the shade. We love them because in the fall, they're the first leaves to change yellow, and they're so pretty. We love them because the black walnuts, of course, we use those for dyeing traps, eating, baking, there's a whole realm of stuff. And you can see on my channel all the different things that we do with black walnuts. And then your last treat that we get would be from the sap, which is you get the syrup and then the jelly. So when God made black walnut trees, he was just thinking to give us such a great treat because he loves us so much, and he wanted us to have this amazing thing, right? So then here in a minute, let me scoop this out, and then I will show you, if you don't know, how do we make sure that our syrup will stay good in the jar without like crystallizing and things like that, or going bad. And I'm gonna have to just finish that in a minute. But anyway, see, it's really pretty. It's really tasty and really cool. So now, really quickly, this is a hydrometer. This is what it looks like. And it comes with this thing right here. So what you do is, once you boil your sap down and you think it is close to being ready. And also one of the quick cool thing is when you boil your sap down, you'll get to watch the color change. So when you have the sap, and you can see the video when we collected the sap, it was clear. Totally clear. Looks like water. The sap seriously looks like water. Then you saw us pouring it into our sap evaporator, and totally clear. It looked like a whole thing of water. Then as it boils down, and so all that water, because there's a lot of water in sap, so all that water is evaporated out, and then it goes down, down, down. When we had about an inch, a little over an inch more left in the sap evaporator, we put it into the pot and brought it up to the propane cooker to boil it back down, or to finish boiling it down. So anyway, so then what you do, so you see the colors, and now look what it ended up as. See, that's crazy, right? It starts off clear like water, and this is what you end up with. So I mean, that's just amazing. And like I said, as you're doing this process, you will be able to see the color changing. It starts off as a light brown, right? So white to kind of tan to light brown, a little darker, a little darker, a little darker, until here you go, you're done. It's really very dark, right? So anyways, so when you're about ready, you put a little bit of the syrup in this thing right here, okay? Then this works off of the brick scale. So what you do is you lower this down in there. Now there's no syrup in there right now, but if there was syrup, then you don't want to really probably hold it. I'm just holding it because there's no syrup in it, but you just put it on a flat table, right? What will happen then is it will raise up, float. It'll float, right? See, like this, right? So see that first red line right there? You want it to be in line with the top of this metal thing, the red line, and that is at 32. That's the number, is 32. Now this means if it raises itself up to 32, and then also you have to have a thermometer separate. This is not a thermometer, so get a thermometer, digital thermometer or whatnot, candy thermometer. Put it in here too, okay? And the temperature has to be 219 degrees Fahrenheit, and this has to raise up to the first red line, which is 32. Once it's at 32, 219 degrees Fahrenheit, perfect shelf life for the syrup. So that means once you put it in the jars, it has to seal, make sure it seals. But once that happens, this syrup now will really have no problems with going bad on your shelf. So that's what you want. Now, say you poured some in here, and say this raised up, or it didn't raise up, I suppose, right? That would be too heavy, right? If it didn't raise up, say it just stayed like that, and you're like, oh, what am I supposed to do? So you're like, oh, now I've ruined it all, right? You didn't ruin it all. You just add some more. All right, so like I was saying, if this doesn't raise up, that means you need to add more water because it's not enough. It's too heavy, right? It's too heavy. So add a little bit more. Did I say water? I'm getting really confused. Hold on. Okay, so scratch what I just said about that. It's kind of confusing. That's why this comes with a piece of paper directions. Keep the directions and read them every time you do it, because you only do it this once a year. You probably won't be able to remember, just like me. Anyways, so if it does not float up, keep boiling it down. Okay, so just dump it out, keep boiling it down. Now, until it raises to the 32. Now, if it raises up past it, higher up, then you add more sap to it. Okay? Then it will, get it down a little bit. So, but really your ideal is 32 and 219 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you're perfectly good. And this is called a hydrometer. It comes with directions. Keep the directions handy, so then every year when you do this, you can just go back to those directions. That is your best bet, because otherwise it's really hard to remember something that you just really do once a year. I know for me, I can't remember it. So, all right. So anyways, here you go. Is our first batch of black walnut syrup. Something really special. Please leave us comments if you have black walnut syrup too. Okay, so also, can you leave us comments? Because if you want to see how we got to this point. So like I said, we have video of us tapping the trees, collecting the sap. But we did not do a video of actually getting to this point of boiling it down and like that. So if you want to, if you are interested, please let us know. Leave us comments, because this is only our first batch. We still have, our trees are still tapped. And still collecting, we're going to be still collecting sap. And then, of course, maple is coming up very soon. So please let us know if you're interested in knowing about this, because then we're more than happy to share with you and post videos of us doing this. And you can really see the steps, even more than what we've shown you. So we would really appreciate that. And We just really would appreciate that. So, and we're very appreciative of all of you, all of our viewers and our subscribers. So please keep watching, please keep commenting, please keep liking, and please always let God in your heart. Bye.